The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the annual Regina Sports Hall of Fame Induction Gala. My name is Chris Hodges, and I have the esteemed pleasure to be your MC here tonight for the event, and it's absolutely wonderful to be back in the room with you all again. Wonderful celebration of Regina sports and the people that make it happen here in our community. I'm very honored to be up here tonight, helping to recognize the extraordinary events of some everyday people and to acknowledge their contributions and their achievements in sport, both on the field of play and behind the scenes. Tonight, as we always do, the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, we have an absolutely fantastic class of inductees whose faces and stories will be forever enshrined into our Hall of Fame. This year's induction class to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is a varied and very colorful palette of this city's sports landscape. The athletes, the builders, the supporters of the community are being recognized for their outstanding contributions to the local sports landscape, each one of them leaving their own unique mark on the rich legacy of sport in our city. The work of the athletes putting in the time and the energy and the passion into their performance is matched by the coaches and the officials who lend their time and talents to their craft. But it's also the volunteers providing athletes with the organizational structure required to participate in their chosen sport here at home. And there are the media members, the storytellers, the individuals who take the scores and results and show you the people that are behind those outcomes. Each word is a rich brushstroke on the vibrant canvas that we all know the Regina sports community to be. So tonight, as we always do at this time of the year, we will celebrate the togetherness that comes with the Thanksgiving Day long weekend to welcome yet another class of deserving inductees into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. The Regina Sports Hall of Fame has a permanent display on the main floor of the Cooperators Center. It's a wonderful space. If you get the chance to see it, it provides significant visibility to our organization and, more importantly, to the inductees that have been enshrined. We are very grateful for the support we get from REAL and from the City of Regina for the showcase space for the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. It's been an absolutely wonderful year of growth for the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. The Hall recently launched a completely redesigned website, an absolutely wonderful job by the folks at Omni Online to develop and maintain this wonderful digital property for the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, and we would encourage you to visit at reginasportshalloffame.com. You get a chance to see our current and previous inductees and a little bit more of an in-depth look into what it is that the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is all about. The Hall is also a recipient organization of the National Sport Trust Fund, and this is a new development for us. It is a program administered through Sask Sport, and I can see you looking up here at the podium and saying to yourself, Chris, that sounds tremendously exciting. Please tell us more about that. Well, I'm glad you asked. Being part of the National Sports Trust Fund now allows individuals to receive a tax receipt for donations made to the Hall of Fame. This is a significant step forward for our organization. And it provides us with the efforts to establish the Regina Sports Hall of Fame Legacy Fund. Previously, as some of you may know, the Hall was not able to issue a tax receipt for any donations that we received, and that left the organization to rely almost exclusively on membership sales and the annual induction banquet as our revenue source. So we're tremendously excited for the partnership with Sask Sport and the National Sport Trust Fund as it brings the potential for additional possibilities for the Hall of Fame. On the table in front of you is some additional information about the partnership. It's on the glossy card, and it includes a QR code that allows you to make a donation to the Hall. Not sure that we've had the chance to test this on a large-scale access, so it would be a delightful opportunity for us all to grab our smartphones and see if that QR code works. It'd be fantastic just to see how many people we can get accessing the page at the same time. All kidding aside, we are tremendously excited about the growth that has taken place over the last 12 months. And I would like to thank those who are in the room, who were busy behind the scenes, making these evolutionary jumps possible. So thank you very much. Congratulations. The Regina Sports Hall of Fame is led by a group of dedicated volunteers serving on the Hall's board of directors, and at this time I would like to invite Regina Sport Hall of Fame board chair and 2009 inductee Frank Kovacs to the podium for his welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Chris, for your kind introduction and your words. Chris has been an amazing person for the last number of years for us. He's been gracious to give us his time to be the MC for our events for a number of years. He's done a great job. Thank you very much, Chris. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are in treaty land, referred to as Treaty 4 territory. The City of Regina and its people are beneficiaries of this treaty. Treaty 4 encompasses the lands of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. Treaty 4 is a place where we live and come together as a community to enjoy sport and everything it has to offer to our communities. We engage in sport together on the waters, the grass, and under the sunshine of Mother Earth. I want to welcome in attendance from the City of Regina, Councillor Trina Nelson, from the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame, Executive Director Aaron Stankiewicz, and our esteemed partners from Real District, Vice President of Venue Management, Trevor Walsh, and Vice President of Operations and Finance, Scott Manson. I want to thank the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame and their staff for their ongoing support of our hall, and to the Real District for showcasing our Hall of Fame in the Cooperative Centre. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us tonight. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our funding partner and the support of Saskatchewan Lotteries, Access Communications, for broadcasting our event tonight, and to Molson for your support for over the years, to the University of Regina, where our hall was originally displayed, and to the Connexus Arts Centre for hosting this event. This time, I'd like to honor an individual who meant a great deal to our Hall of Fame, Sheila Kelly. Sheila served as Executive Director of the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame for over 3 decades. She brought to her career an unmatched passion for recognizing people in the sporting world. Sheila nurtured the growth of many local sport Hall of Fames in Saskatchewan, including Regina Sports Hall of Fame. She showed a genuine care for inductees at all halls and for her staff. She was very well respected in her role. Sadly, Sheila passed away recently, and the Regina Sports Hall of Fame would like to send our deepest condolences to her family. We are here tonight to celebrate the Regina Sports Hall of Fame's 24th induction ceremony. We will recognize people who have contributed to our community through sport. These people have dedicated themselves to their sport through competition, as well as building and promoting sport for future generations locally, nationally, and internationally. I'm very proud to say that Regina is a heavyweight when it comes to the quality and determination of its people in the sporting world. To date, and with the inclusion of tonight's inductees, the Hall boasts 50 athletes, 55 builders, 14 teams, and 7 patrons. There are also 150 plus honorary members with Regina's connections who have previously been inducted into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame. As a past inductee, I want to personally welcome all the new inductees to the Hall tonight. It's an honor to be surrounded by people like you who have shown your love of sport through everything you do. In my playing days with the Regina Pats and my current position with the Regina Police Service, I've been afforded rich opportunities in our city where I've met and worked with people who I now call friends. I'd like to acknowledge Aaron Higgins as he enters the Hall tonight. Aaron and I have worked together in various ways with Special Olympics Saskatchewan. He taught me a lot of dedication and love of sport. Aaron, it's a great honor to be with you in the Hall. Also, as a young Regina boy growing up with dreams of playing in the NHL at a high level, I had to look a little further than to Dirk Graham. I recall watching Dirk play in the NHL as the captain of the Chicago Blackhawks. His leadership role as a captain and knowing that he played for Regina Pats inspired me to want to be like him. Lastly, to my friend Darrell Davis, who I've known since my past days and through his work with the Regina Leader Post and the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Your work and dedication with the board of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame has been second to none, and your delivery of local sports content and your pursuit of fair and honest reporting has always been at the forefront of what you do. Congratulations to all the inductees tonight. The Regina Sports Hall of Fame represents so much more than the success that people had in their sport. I believe it goes well beyond that. It represents all the moms, dads, husbands, wives, family members, friends, and neighbors who have given their time, love, encouragement, support, and finances to each athlete, builder, and patron. The culmination of this support can be seen on the walls at Real District's Cooperative Center, but it doesn't end there. The strength of your commitment to your sports extends throughout our province, country, and globally. Sport builds people and is a pillar to a strong community. It teaches important life skills such as cooperation, unselfishness, discipline, being coachable, having a sense of teamwork. Sport also offers a sense of belonging, which in turn builds confidence. Without the teamwork of the Board of Directors at the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, tonight's ceremony would not be possible. Each board member has made significant sacrifices and contributions to make the Hall what it is today. They are a committed group and are passionate about sharing the successes of Regina athletes and builders in sport. As I call on you, I invite you to stand to receive the acknowledgement that you deserve. Rod Schmidt, Bob Kraus, Rob Vanstone can't make it tonight, Barry Tamman, Angela Tiller, Laura Marshall, she's not here tonight as well, Chris Hodges, Aaron Anderson, Doug McCaw, Dick White. Special thanks to Marlene Hoffman for helping coordinate ticket sales for tonight's ceremony and various other duties. To each and every one of you, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like Chris has mentioned already about our website, it's been an amazing new feat for us. It's been a goal of ours for some time. It's wonderful to see it come to fruition. On your table again, you'll find those cards. Please have a look at that. There's amazing stories in there and history written on that website, so please have a look at that. We also remind you that our goal is to preserve the history, accomplishments, and stories of current and future athletes, builders, and patrons. Please consider a donation to our hall, which will ensure that nights like this and celebrations like this can continue to happen for future generations. I'll leave you with one thought tonight. Nobody inducted to this hall would say that they got here alone. It takes sacrifice to do incredible things. It takes a village of people to create extraordinary things, and all of you in this room are a part of something special. Thanks for attending tonight's ceremonies. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your evening and have a safe ride home at the conclusion of the night. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Frank. Always special that we see at this event is the former inductees that assemble, the president of the event. They serve as almost a welcoming committee for the new inductees, the newest class of honorees. At this time, I'd like everyone just that has previously been inducted into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame to stand and just be warmly acknowledged, because again, there are a number of past honorees that are in attendance here tonight. So wonderful to have you here. Tonight we'll add to the ranks. We have another fantastic class of inductees whose faces and stories will forever be enshrined in our Hall of Fame. As we get set to introduce our inductees, I just want to mention to the families who are in attendance that you are welcome, and in fact you are robustly encouraged to come forward into this area here to take any pictures that you'd like once your honored inductee is enshrined. We'll stop and we'll let you get time to take the photo that you need to take. So. Regina Sports Hall of Fame honors the past and inspires the future, and tonight's first inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Daryl Davis, a builder, multi-sport. It would be very easy for the Regina Sports Hall of Fame to honor Daryl Davis for his 25-year career at the leader post. His body of work as a sports writer alone, covering the professional and amateur athletes in our city, makes him worthy of enshrinement. We are all intimately familiar with his prowess covering the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the CFL. In fact, he was so good in his professional life that he was inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame's media wing back in 2006. But as easy as that may be, Daryl's involvement in local sports goes far beyond his time at the leader post. Outside of his time with the paper, Daryl has also contributed to the Regina sports community as an athlete, a coach, an administrator, a referee, a clinician, and a board volunteer. He coached baseball with the Regina Optimist Baseball League program, the Regina Pacers program, and at Luther High School. He tells me that he was more than capable as a hockey official, working all levels of the sport, including SGHL and CIAU University hockey contests. Not only active as an official, Daryl also shared his knowledge with developing officials, conducting officiating clinics throughout the province for the Saskatchewan Hockey Association. He has devoted a considerable amount of time to the sport of racquetball, spending time as a coach, teaching junior and novice clinics for Racquetball Regina, and even picking up the odd men's B Division championship at the Regina Open from time to time. Daryl has served as the director, chair of the Racquetball Canada High Performance Committee from 2006 through 2024. He also served 6 years on the executive of Racquetball Saskatchewan and 20 years with Racquetball Regina. His work with Racquetball Regina includes in organizing leagues, clinics, and tournaments. His name has been affiliated as an organizer with almost every league, tournament, or clinic that has taken place in Regina for at least the last decade, and has lent his valuable insight and expertise to several honors selection committees, including time as a selection committee member for the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, the Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame, the University of Regina Hall of Fame, and even with us at the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Daryl wrote or co-authored 6 books about football or hockey, including junior hockey's royal franchise, the Regina Pats. Jim Park, a 2010 Regina Sports Hall of Fame inductee, says of Daryl in his nomination package, "Throughout most of his life, he has passionately promoted local sports and has been a true ambassador for the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. I believe that his many contributions make Daryl a worthy recipient of this honor." And we at the Regina Sports Hall of Fame wholeheartedly agree, Jim. Ladies and gentlemen, our newest inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Daryl Davis.
Thanks, Chris. I've told you before, you're a wonderful MC. One of the reasons why this is such a memorable event. Don't worry, it's not a long speech. I'm old, big font. Thank you to the city, to Real, SAS Sport, and Connexus. I also miss Sheila Kelly. This is a memorable event. I've been to every one, starting in 2003, when my dad, Lauren Davis, was an inaugural inductee for his lifelong involvement in hockey. That also started a tradition for me, crying. I think I've cried at every ceremony, and so don't think that tonight's gathering hasn't made me cry. The fact I get to join my dad overwhelms me, but so does the fact I'm joining so many people I respect and admire in the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, many who are here tonight, but it also includes this entire class of 2024. In my first go-around as a sports writer at the Regina Leader Post, I chronicled the achievements of sprinter LaDonna, Antoine Watkins. I could always spell it, I can never pronounce it, I'm a writer. As she represented Canada on tracks around the world. I've learned about Jessica Fratton, moving from Yukon to Regina, getting into a competitive chair and becoming a member of Canada's Paralympic team while mentoring young athletes. I met Aaron Higgins at the press conference announcing this year's inductees and saw tears in his eyes when his Special Olympics powerlifting career was described. So proud about being honored. Aaron, I know how you feel. And thank you for the card tonight. Dirk Graham was coached by my dad with the Pats. Plus I was a hockey official who saved him in numerous fights. He might not remember it the same way I do, but I wrote a newspaper story about his early NHL career. On the phone this week, Dirk told me he still has that story laminated and framed, sitting on his desk. So you see why I cry at these things. And my good friend, Bernadette McIntyre. Every organization wants Bernie on its board. I've seen what she accomplishes, particularly with the Brier and the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Our families have been connected for decades, but that's how things work in Regina. A city where we're all seemingly friends or relatives, a place that's better because of volunteers, organizers, athletes, coaches, and builders like the people being inducted tonight. My fellow inductees, you're the reason why I'm so proud to be a part of this. The Regina Sports Hall of Fame is a tremendous institution. I was on the board for 20-some years, working with dedicated volunteers. I retired last year, and holy cow, have they done a lot since I left. Oh, man. Starting with new displays inside the Cooperator Center and a new website. And we didn't run out of food tonight, I think. Did we, Roddy? And if we did, it's not my fault. To President Frank Kovacs, his board members and committee chairs, thank you for your work for this event and this honor. When I was on the board, I always demanded that these speeches be 5 or 6 minutes maximum. So I apologize in advance for going just a smidge over, but I'm no longer on the board, so to heck with you guys. I can't tell you how many of my heroes are already in the hall. I luckily got to meet almost all of them. Some are gone. Jim Hobson, Arlene Day, Glenn Nelson, Doug Wickenheiser, and Warren Ponczak. Thinking about them makes me very emotional. Others whose careers have been inspirational, including Rhonda Holt, a racquetball player who didn't like public speaking. Ordered to the microphone by her partner during the induction, Rhonda gave the shortest and most memorable and maybe the most popular accepted speech ever. "Thank you," she said, and she sat down. Rich Preston and Doug Simon were more ebullient. I remember a message from Jackie Moore, the grace of Shannon McGeady, the uniqueness of inducting the Jacoby family, the pride of Carol Lafayette Boyd, and the unexpected humility of Jim Park. Sorry, Jim. A former rally driver and now a racquetball partner, who I want to thank for nominating me. There are amazing people who helped build sports in Regina. Kelly Hamilton, Len Antonini, Gary Brotzel and Bernie Eisworth, Marnie Eistetter, Gord Staceyson. Many of us fall in love with playing sports. While Jessica, Aaron, Dirk, and LaDonna advanced to an elite level, I'm one of the people, like Bernadette, who helped arrange places, leagues, events, or lessons for these tremendous athletes. I'm okay with that. In 2007, we posthumously inducted Jimmy Cuthbert, who started winning badminton championships in the mid-1930s. On the night of his induction, his family told us they were surprised to be here because when he started raising a family, he apparently switched his passion and commitment entirely to them. Mr. Cuthbert no longer played his favorite sport and never spoke about his badminton titles. His family knew basically nothing about his athletic prowess until he was inducted into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. If that's the hall I'm joining, I'm honored to be one of, I think I counted with you, Frank, 286 legacies currently enshrined. My family is here with my dad's legacy and my mom Shirley in spirit, and in many ways, so is Eva, a mom and wife who supported everything we did before losing her 16 years ago. My sister's at our table. Leanne, an instructor who I believe taught the entire southern half of Saskatchewan how to skate. Susan, a partner and best friend, I can't tell you how glad I am that you're with us. My sons, Austin and Tanner, plus their partners Melanie and Kristen, I'm proud of you and love you, along with granddaughter Evelyn and grandson Noah. You're the reason I'm here, and I'm nearly crying. My involvement with sports is varied, and I have friends here from several of them, including my cherished group at Ralco Radio, where Britton Gray and Jamie Nye in the Green Zone brought me lovingly back into the day-to-day sports world more than a decade ago. I truly appreciate the support I get from my old hockey officials, softball team, golfing buddies, journalists, co-workers, readers, fans, and critics. Former classmates and friends from my years playing racquetball and volunteer coaching. Anyone who golfs with me knows I'm the world's worst putter. I've won some racquetball championships, but usually in doubles because I pick great partners. My backhand sucks. I'm the fourth leader poster writer in the hall, preceded by former sports editors Laurie Artis, Bob Hughes, and Rob Vanstone, all of whom I admire. Newspapers have shrunk, and I enjoy working with Taylor Shire, but 40 years in, I'm now part of a two-man sports department, and I'm still not the editor. I could skate pretty well because it's a Davis trait. I liked hockey, but the only way I could carry a puck was in my hand, so I became a referee. I batted leadoff on our ball teams because I never had any extra base hits. I played first base because I had limited range, and where else do you put a lefty who can't pitch? I'm evidently able to anger people by speaking and writing, so I had to become a coach and an organizer. So imagine that. Someone like me, a less than mediocre athlete who loves sports, his friends, and his family, all I had to do was donate some time doing things I love anyway. And now I'm in the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you for being here.
Wonderful stuff, Daryl. Congratulations. Our next inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Aaron Higgins, an athlete, Special Olympics, powerlifting. Being active has always been important to Aaron, who has participated in various sports with Special Olympics over the years, including basketball, bowling, and track and field. But when Aaron discovered powerlifting in 2014, things got serious and high-level results came quickly. Aaron competed in his first Saskatchewan Powerlifting Association Provincial Championships in 2014, placing third in the Special Olympics category. The following year, he found the top of the podium at provincials, as he did again in 2016. Aaron's accomplishments started opening up some travel opportunities, and in 2018, he was the only Saskatchewan powerlifter selected to participate in the Special Olympics Canada Summer Games in Antigonish, Nova Scotia. At those games, he won gold in the squat and the bench press events, and picked up a silver in the deadlift and the overall. His combined lift totals at the Canada Games gained him entry into powerlifting's Club 1,000 pounds total weight across the three lifting disciplines. 2019 brought more provincial success as Aaron once again won the provincial championships, and he has stayed atop the provincial podium every year since. Aaron's name is all over the provincial record book. He holds the Special Olympics records for the squat, the bench press, the deadlift, and the overall classes at the 93, 105, and 120 kilogram weight divisions. In 2023, Aaron traded the green and yellow of Team Saskatchewan for Team Canada colors, competing at the Special Olympics World Summer Games in Berlin, Germany. He was the only Saskatchewan powerlifting athlete selected to compete, and he delivered. He won silver medals in the squat and bench press, and a bronze in the deadlift, finishing second overall. And to provide a little perspective on just how big the Special Olympics World Championships are, the World Summer Games are, there were 176 countries competing across 26 sports, more than 6,500 athletes, 3,000 coaches, and 20,000 volunteers. But as proficient as he is as a powerlifter, Aaron's truest love may very well be football. For the past 16 years, he's been part of the F Troop group during the Saskatchewan Rough Rider Games and is responsible for assisting with field preparation before and after games, as well as various tasks during the contests themselves. During the opening of the new Mosaic Stadium, he was the first volunteer to be honored at the home opener for his hard work and his dedication to the team. Aaron's love for football goes a long way back. Started well before his time with the Riders. He was a part of the Laboldus Golden Suns football team, playing an important role within the team as a motivator, completed odd jobs in boosting team morale. And when Aaron graduated, Laboldus honored him by establishing the Aaron Higgins Award, which is given annually to a player who exemplifies spirit and inspiration. He was the Saskatchewan Special Olympics Athlete of the Year in 2021, and in his nomination package, Ben Lazinski, the Program Director for Special Olympics Saskatchewan, said of Aaron, "His accomplishments are extensive, prestigious, and well-deserved. He is a true energy giver, and this trait elevates the outcomes he produces. As someone who has not only achieved high-level sport accomplishments, he is a man of outstanding character. Aaron is a natural choice for the Regina Sports Hall of Fame." We are pleased to welcome him to the hall this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest inductee to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Aaron Higgins.
Wow, I may make it quiet. What? Okay. Thank you, Chris. You are a good man. Hello, everyone. My name is Aaron Higgins. He killed his Christian for painting my name for what? You did so much work. He also has a job to my Hall of Fame team. Dale, Jessica, Donna, Duke, not here, and Miss Bonnie. And now he dare to talk.
Hi everyone, I'm Aaron's dad, Doug. You'll notice back in his Laboldus high school days, the team used to say that Aaron speaks his own version of English. It's called Thank you, Chris, and the Hall of Fame Committee for Aaron's nomination and acceptance. It's a huge and humbling honor, all capped off by this wonderful evening. My role here tonight is just to partner with Aaron, help him on stage if he needs it. He's pretty independent, though. Perhaps translate the odd thing and do a bit of back and forth with him to tell you a little bit about his life story. Like every athlete or builder, everybody has a unique story. So Aaron's going to start.
I love powerlifting. I really hard at the stretch fitness. And I have fun with my coach and my friend here. I love sport and playing on a team. My favorite team are the Bulls, Blackhawks, and the Eagles. Football, and he's Joe Pad, and I have Ducks hockey. I love personal Olympics, basketball, and bowling, and my team Canada. I love to have fun. Now your dad talk.
I'll maybe go back to a couple of things that Aaron said that in his first time that he spoke here, he really wanted to thank Kristen White for putting his name forward and acknowledge just how much work she went through in putting his nomination. In case anybody didn't catch it, he loves powerlifting. And he trains hard at Trench Fitness, but a key element of Aaron's life is having fun, and he really talks about that all the time. So I'll give you a little glimpse into Aaron's life story. One of the pictures this evening shows two pictures in one. One was when Aaron was born, 3 pounds, 6 ounces, neonatal intensive care, tubes everywhere, and a preliminary diagnosis for Rose and I that he has Down syndrome, a scary proposition for young parents. The other half of the picture shows Aaron recently on stage as a power lifter, lifting hundreds of pounds and exerting himself with all he's got. It's a huge difference between the two pictures, but it's an example of his life story. On day 3 of his life, and don't worry, I'm not going to go through every day of his life, he was rushed to hospital by ambulance into Saskatoon with Rose and I in our car behind it, the ambulance. And the Saskatoon trip was his first emergency heart surgery. So as parents, it was at that point in time that we gained our first real life perspective on raising Aaron. In neonatal up there, as bad as it was, as bad as we thought our situation was, we learned within the first 24 hours that there were several other situations way worse than us. For the first 2 years of Aaron's life, see, I'm already moving from days to years, and I will get up to decades. For the first 2 years, Aaron spent more time in hospital than he did in our own home. Eventually, he came home, had to have oxygen on, until we had a second heart surgery at age 4. The hardest day of my life, giving my son to the doctor and not knowing if he was coming back. That surgery did the trick. As months and years went by, there was no stopping him as he became physically stronger and healthier. And as he became physically stronger, we noticed that he was really strong for his body. He would climb and hang from trees. He would pull off 10 to 20 chin-ups in his brother's chin-up bar, and then he'd rattle off some one-arm push-ups just for fun. So fast forward to a decade ago, 2014, and Rose asked the folks at Special Olympics Regina whether they had a powerlifting program that Aaron could join. Yes, they had a new group session started, they said. It was at Trench Fitness here in Regina, a facility owned by Neil and Erica Tkachuk. I was going to say how Aaron says Tkachuk. It's actually quite funny. Well, Aaron was hooked for 2 reasons on day one. Number one, that he was naturally really good at it. Success is appealing. But more importantly to him, he was simply there having fun with his Special Olympics friend. What Neil saw as a professional was very interesting for us, that he said Aaron has oodles of natural abilities for powerlifting, and that Neil would actually take him on training personally, one-on-one, if we agreed. Well, I think that we had to consider Aaron no different than any of our other kids, that it's an opportunity. Let's see what happens. You go in a little bit blind, not really knowing where this journey was going to take us or Aaron or our entire family. So this past decade has brought for Aaron an incredible passion for a sport and a sports community, an opportunity to compete and have success, an opportunity to travel. And just like I spoke of fun, perhaps most importantly to Aaron was the countless times that he's ended up having total independence away from his parents. It was absolutely him doing his thing. One of the things that Chris had asked us was, what are some of the hurdles that you had to overcome along the way? And a little story about Aaron, that when he first started lifting, sure, he liked it. But Neil came to me one day and he said, you know, he's a little bit hesitant about the big weights as we started to grow and grow the weights, that they're over his head and he's a little bit scared. And Neil was in his head, like, he says, you know, he should be able to easily lift this. His body structure is so good. So we had a little bit of a mental game that we had to overcome, and it just reminded me the other day, in the Special Olympics world, there's an athlete's oath that fits Aaron overcoming his fear of lifting heavy weights. And the athlete's oath goes, let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. So Aaron kept attempting his lifts despite his fears, and his confidence grew that he finally knew it was safe, and if he lifted properly to form and was spotted and supported, well, the weights that he's lifted have just continued to grow. And as Chris says, he's hit Club 1000, which is something I never thought that we'd achieve, and he's blown past it. So for us as parents, and you don't often get this when you're as an athlete, I'm supposed to be speaking as an athlete, but actually I'm going to take the time to speak as a parent. When you have an adult son with special needs, that you just want to give him a chance to excel and be passionate at something. It's given us a huge amount of pride, and it's given our friends a huge amount of pride, and it's given our family a huge amount of pride. But it's also an ongoing commitment to Aaron. If we're going to continue with this passion, we got to do some financial adjustments. There's constant chauffeuring. There's continually scheduling. There's continual ongoing coach communications, entry deadlines. And then when you become part of Team Saskatchewan or Team Canada, it's actually quite onerous, some of the administration that they pile on these athletes. And you know what? Aaron can't do that. So you pick up the role as a parent. But the reward is you get to see your son succeed, and you get to travel throughout Saskatchewan. Some may not say that's an award. But for Aaron, whether it's Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, or Berlin, Germany, he doesn't care. He gets excited. He's going on a road trip. So maybe my final message as a parent. Over the last decade has been an opportunity to have a front row seat to see the power of inclusion and acceptance at work. We get to witness the people involved at Trench Fitness and throughout the Saskatchewan Powerlifting Association. They've included and accepted Aaron as a peer and as a key element to their gym culture and as a part of their competitive environment. Everybody helps Aaron. Everybody cheers for Aaron. Everybody knows Aaron. And Aaron, he knows every single one of their names, and he knows a little bit about them. These people mean something to Aaron, every single one of them. And for us, inclusion and acceptance continues this evening, demonstrated by the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, nominating, accepting, and inducting a person with special needs, a special O athlete. From a parent's perspective, I simply say thank you. So, it's been mentioned a couple of times about villages. Aaron has a village. It's a huge village. There's a sample of 5 tables over here that are part of 6 tables that are part of his village. The village is known as Team Higgy, and there's t-shirts, and we sell merchandise as well. But we simply say thanks to the village for being part of Aaron's life journey, not just in powerlifting, but in all aspects of his life. The village has been incredible to things like Aaron's recognition this evening. So thank you to Team Higgy. Aaron, finish it off.
You came on your Team Hickey. I said, heck you. Yeah, shaka. This is my caution. You are number 1. You get thank you. This is your for making me a world champion, the power of the fall. To my family, Mom, Dad, John, Yella, and Bummer, and Kim. I love you all. To all my auntie, uncle, and cousin. You are the best. To personal office, Roger, Megan, Ben. Thank you. To all my friends here, I love you all. Thank you for coming tonight to hear Hall of Fame. Thank you. Chris, I'm done.
Our next inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Jessica Fraughton, athlete in para-athletics. Jessica's resume is as accomplished as any athlete that's ever been inducted into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Her athletics resume is capped off with a spot on Team Canada at the 2020 Paralympic Games in Tokyo, where she qualified for the final of the 400-meter event and also participated in the 800, 1500, and 4x100-meter relay events. But as much as the Olympic experience is impressive enough, it's when you get the chance to take a deep dive into her athletics resume that you really get a true sense for just how impressive Fraughton's career truly is. Her first success in a major competition came at the 2013 Canada Summer Games in Sherbrooke, Quebec, winning a bronze medal in the 200-meter, 400-meter, and 1,500-meter events. Her first visit to the Canadian Championships was in 2014, and it proved to be a fruitful venture. Gold medals in the 200-meter and 800-meter events, and a silver medal in the 400-meter. She would make multiple trips to the national championships over the coming years, winning bags full of medals, including 7 additional golds. Made her international debut at the 2015 Para-Pan American Games in Toronto, picking up a bronze medal in the 100-meter and 400-meter events, and a 4th place finish in the 800-meter. She competed at the 2015 IPC World Championships in Doha, Qatar, in the 100, 200, and 400-meter events, and competed in the 100, 200, and 800-meter events at the IPC World Championships in London, England in 2017. She represented Canada at the 2018 Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast of Australia, and had a triple medal performance at the 2018 Swiss Grand Prix, taking a silver in the 400-meter and bronze medals in the 200 and 800-meter events. It was at that event in Switzerland that she set a new Canadian record for the 800-meter event. Back in Canberra, Australia, the following year, she finished second in the 400-meter event in a time of 56.78 seconds, establishing a new Canadian record that still stands to this day as the mark to beat. She got tired of the sprint events and went a little longer following that. She competed in the 400-meter, 800-meter, 1,500-meter, and 5,000-meter events at the 2019 World Championships in Dubai. Additionally, she has competed in 2 international marathons, placing second in Honolulu in 2017. Jessica received the Sask Sport Inspire Through Sport Award in 2023 and has been a strong volunteer and advocate for the Saskatchewan Wheelchair Sports Association. She helped to map the accessibility of the Wascana trails near Regina and is often seen at triad events, recreation nights, wheelchair basketball, rugby, and para-athletic practices and competitions. She also spends time speaking with students so that they can share the many available adaptive sports opportunities that our community has. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest inductee to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Jessica Fraughton.
Okay. Being inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame is not just a personal milestone, but it represents a collective effort of so many individuals that have been a part of my journey. After my spinal cord injury, moving to Regina was both daunting but transformative. It was a time of navigating what my mom would often call the new normal. But what I found here was a community that embraced me and supported me and encouraged me to chase my dreams. I have a lot of people to thank. And I want to begin by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to First Steps Wellness Center. Owen and Chris, the community you've created has felt like a family from day one. I know when I landed on your doorstep, your first thought probably wasn't, oh, this girl's gonna be an athlete. But you turned me into one. Thank you for believing in this dream and helping make it a reality. I really wouldn't be who I am today without you. Saskatchewan Wheelchair Sports Association, your tireless efforts in promoting wheelchair sports across Saskatchewan, they really go beyond sport itself. You created an environment that empowers athletes like me, and your passion and dedication ensures that we all have the resources and encouragement to do what we love and really excel. To my coach, Rick Reilly, he couldn't be here tonight. He moved to Denmark, but his guidance and belief in my abilities has pushed me to achieve things I would have never thought possible, and I'm so grateful for all the time and effort he's invested in me. Carla Nichols, surprise attendee tonight, and all of the coaching staff at Athletics Canada, your dedication, expertise, and support, they've been vital in developing me as an athlete, and being part of the national team you've created, it has been amazing. You've elevated para-athletics in Canada to new heights, and I can't wait to see what this culture of excellence will inspire in the next generation. To my partner, Ben, your love and patience, they've been instrumental in all of this. You've been my biggest cheerleader and always a shoulder when I need it the most. And all those late nights, equipment modifications, and every early morning airport ride, your support has made all of the difference. And you should probably get a medal too. To my family, so many have made the trip to be here tonight. You've been my unwavering support system. I can't thank you enough for creating the biggest cheering sections and always bringing those pool noodles. For having the late night live stream pajama parties so you never miss a race. Your belief in me from day one has given me the strength to push through every challenge. I truly couldn't have reached this point without you, and thank you for your endless encouragement, for celebrating my victories, and always standing with me when things are tough. I'm incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. Before that big hook comes out, I would just really like to thank the Regina Sports Hall of Fame Committee. Your dedication to the history of Regina athletes is incredible. I am so very proud to be the first of what I know will be many para-athletes inducted into this hall. This induction really isn't just about my achievements, but it is a tribute to everyone that has played a role in this journey, no matter how small. It is a celebration of the power of sport that unites us and inspires future generations, and I'm truly humbled by this honor. And I continue to look forward to contributing to our vibrant sports community here in Regina. Thank you.
Our next inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Dirk Graham, an athlete in the sport of hockey. Born in Regina, Dirk Graham was a standout with the Western Hockey League's Regina Pats in the mid-70s. Although Graham had a brief call-up to the Regina Pats from the Pat Blues at the end of the 1975-76 season, ostensibly Graham played 3 seasons with the Pats, scoring 134 goals and tallying 283 points. It was his second season with the Pats, 1977-78, that was his most productive offensively, scored 49 times, added 61 assists, and he followed that up with similar numbers in the 1978-79 season. He was selected as a second-team Western Hockey League All-Star and ultimately drafted by the Vancouver Canucks in the 1979 entry draft. He would start his pro career in the minor leagues, playing 1 season with the Dallas Blackhawks of the Central Hockey League before embarking on a Hall of Fame career in the International Hockey League. Graham had a short stint with the IHL's Fort Wayne Comets before achieving tremendous success as a member of the Toledo Gold Diggers. In Toledo, Graham found his scoring touch. Over the next 3 seasons, he would score 159 goals, helping lead Toledo to back-to-back IHL titles in 1982 and again in 1983. And it was in that 82-83 season that he enjoyed his finest individual stats, scoring 70 times, finishing second in league scoring, and earning a first-team IHL All-Star nod. He signed a free agent contract with the Minnesota North Stars and spent 2 more seasons developing in the minor leagues before making his NHL debut in 83-84. It was the 85-86 season that saw him become a full-fledged National Hockey Leaguer. He played all 80 games for the North Stars that season, scoring 22 times and adding 33 assists. He would continue to play for Minnesota until January of 1988, where he was traded to the Chicago Blackhawks. Graham's game found another level in Chicago. In his first full season with the Blackhawks, he topped the 30-goal mark for the first time in his career and finished with a career-high 78 points. Interestingly, in that season, 10 of those 33 goals were shorthanded, and that puts him in some pretty elite company as one of only 4 players in NHL history to score 10 or more shorthanded goals in a season. The others are Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and Marcel Dion. In 1989, the Blackhawks named Dirk Graham their captain and making him the first black team captain in league history. In 1991, he won the Frank Selke Trophy as the NHL's best defensive forward and would play 7.5 seasons with Chicago, ultimately retiring from the game in 1995. In all, he played more than 750 regular season games, registering 219 goals and 270 assists, and also added another 90 NHL playoff games. Internationally, he helped Canada to a fourth-place finish at the 1987 World Championships in Austria and played for Team Canada at the 1991 Canada Cup, where he scored 3 times in 8 games, helping Canada to the tournament title. 9 years after becoming the NHL's first black captain, Graham made league history again. In 1998, Chicago named him as their head coach, the first, and to this day, the only black head coach in National Hockey League history. More recently, he served as a professional scout for the Tampa Bay Lightning from 2006 through 2008 and was the head coach of the Springfield Falcons of the American Hockey League and is currently a scout for the San Jose Sharks. He was inducted into the Toledo Hockey Hall of Fame in 2017, and we are delighted to welcome him to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame here this evening. Now, unfortunately, Dirk was unable to join us for tonight's celebration, but he did take a moment to send us a short video which we will draw your attention to the big screens.
Hello everyone, and first let me say I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you tonight to enjoy the evening. I also wanted to congratulate all the other inductees on a tremendous honor. Thank you to Carol Lafayette Boyd for the nomination, and to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame for their induction into the hall. As everyone says, none of these honors go without great teammates along the way. So I would like to thank all my teammates all through the minors, all through the NHL, as well as in junior hockey, which I was fortunate enough to play right there in my hometown of Regina. A couple of guys I would like to mention that were very influential to me in my career, a couple of coaches that I had, and one gentleman by the name of Glenn Sonmore with the Minnesota North Stars at the time, who gave a young kid a second chance. He came down to watch me in the minors play a couple of games in the playoffs, and the North Stars offered me a contract and really changed the trajectory of my career. So a special thanks to Glenn. Also Billy Inglis, who was coaching me at that time in the minors in Toledo, for going out of his way to help a young man make his way through the minors and find his way back to the NHL. As well, Lauren Henning, Saskatchewan boy, who was my coach with the North Stars and really gave me my opportunity to play on a regular basis in the NHL. So special thanks to Lauren. As well, my coach in Chicago, while my time was here with the Blackhawks, Mike Keenan, who really taught me a lot about being a leader, becoming a captain here in Chicago, and really pushing me to heights that I didn't think I could get to as far as a hockey player. So thanks to all those gentlemen, their guidance and their patience and their wisdom really helped me a lot in my career. Again, I want to thank everybody for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. It's a special honor, and for a young kid from the north side of Regina who grew up across from Taylor Field, to reach this moment is very special. So thank you. Congratulations again to all the other inductees, and have a great evening.
The Regina Sports Hall of Fame is pleased to accept this on Dirk's behalf, and we will ensure that it is sent to him so that he can adorn the walls of the office that he's got there. Our next inductee to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is LaDonna Watkins, an athlete in the sport of track and field. In a city that has produced several successful track athletes over the years, few can stack their resumes alongside LaDonna Watkins. Track athlete from an early age, she was the winner of the Bob Adams Foundation Award in 1990 and in 1991 for female youth track. Success at the high school level came quickly for her. LaDonna competed for Campbell Collegiate and ultimately earned an NCAA opportunity at Utah State, competing there from 1994 through 1997. While at Utah State, Watkins was a 3-time All-American in the 400-meter event. She claimed Big West Conference titles in the 400 meters in 1985, again in 1986, and again in 1987. She also won the 200-meter event in 1997. Indoors, she also had tremendous success, winning a Mountain Pacific Sports Federation title in the 200 and was a two-time champion in the 400-meter event. Her first taste of international competition came when she represented Canada at the 1995 FISHU World University Games in Fukuoka, Japan. She would return to the FISHU Games 2 years later in Catania, Italy, winning a bronze medal in the 4x100-meter relay. She earned a spot on the 1996 Canadian Olympic team, competing at the Atlanta Games, running in the 400-meter and 4x100-meter events. And she was a three-time participant at the World Track and Field Championships, doing so in 1997, again in 1999, and again in 2001. LaDonna was a two-time member of Canada's Commonwealth Games team, competing in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in 1998 in the 400-meter event and winning bronze in the 4x400-meter relay. She was a bit closer to home in 1999 as she once again wore Canada's colors at the Pan American Games in Winnipeg. In 2000, Watkins earned a spot on the Olympic team again, this time participating at the Sydney Olympics in the 400-meter and 4x400-meter relay event. Watkins elevated her game to match the stage that she was participating on, running the 400-meter event in a personal best time of 50.92 seconds. In 2001, she competed at the World Championships in Edmonton and ran her personal best in the 200-meter event, posting a time of 23.13 seconds. She competed in the 400-meter event at the World Indoor Championships in Portugal, and in 2002 made a Commonwealth Games appearance, this time in Manchester, England, competing in the 400-meter and 4x400-meter events. So if you're keeping track of it, she represented Canada at 2 Summer Olympics, 3 outdoor and 1 indoor world championship, was a 3-time Canadian national title holder in the 200 and 400-meter events, and she was inducted into the Utah State Aggies Hall of Fame in 2007. We are equally honored to open the doors to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame to her tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, LaDonna Watkins.
Those lights are really bright. It's a pleasure to be with you here today. I'm just thankful to the Lord for this opportunity to come back home. It's been a while since I've been back in Regina, so I'm kind of teary-eyed. I took Sonia around to show her all the places where I grew up, and it's grown so much. It's just an honor to be from Regina. I appreciate it so much more now that I'm older, how much I love coming back home to Canada, but especially Saskatchewan. So that was all for free. So I just want to thank my husband who could not be here today. He's coaching William, who you saw on the photo with football, so he has a football game on Saturday. My oldest daughter, Sonia, is here, and she's in her 3rd year at Texas A&M University, and she's studying elementary ed. And then I have another daughter, Jane, who's her 1st year of university, and she's studying history, and she's running track at the University of Oklahoma. And then there's William, who's in grade 5, so I'm kind of busy, but that's good. And I just want to thank my parents, Jesse and Elaine Antoine, who've always supported my track career. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my parents, so I really appreciate that. My dad still talks about how he raced me in track, and naturally I won. So he was kind of upset about that, but that's okay. And my mom, who came to Canada from Jamaica at the age of 20 when she was pregnant with me, and I always wonder, like, why'd you stop in Regina? Why didn't you stop in Toronto, like a bigger city, Montreal? But she stopped in Regina, and again, I am just so grateful she did that. It has been such a pleasure to grow up here. Living in LA and now Houston, where it's much bigger, I really do appreciate growing up in a smaller town, and just as everyone said, the community and everyone knows one another and just love and support. So I am so grateful to be raised in Regina. It's such an honor. So I wanted to thank Mike, because he was a magnificent coach and mentor, and he would take me to track practices many times when my parents were working, so I'm so grateful for him, and his lovely wife is here as well. And he's really the one that launched my athletic career for track. So I would not be able to run at Utah State if it wasn't for, at the time, Regina Athletic Track Club and being able to be a part of that team with such great athletes and coaches. And I wouldn't be at the 96 Olympics if it wasn't for Mike as well, so I'm so grateful for him. Yes. Thank you for that. I have to thank my college coach, Curtis Collier, who taught me there's life outside of track. So work hard in the classroom, but learn to enjoy yourself, so that was always important. And then I had another wonderful coach, Ron Sheffield, when I was in San Diego and trained with him, and he was just the motivational speaker. He was a great coach, but he definitely knew how to motivate an athlete to perform their best, so I'm so grateful for him. And then there's one more coach when I was in elementary school, Sharon, when we lived in Moose Jaw for 3 years, and I joined the track club there. And she saw something in me that I didn't. And so when we had to move back to Regina, she told me about Mike and told me that you need to be a part of that track club. And I'm so glad she did. And again, thank you for Carol for emailing me saying, we want to nominate you. So, and all the people that took the time to do this for me, it is such an honor. And I'm so humbled by it all. And for the Regina Hall of Fame and Chris, and just thank you guys for doing that. This is just a tremendous honor just to be back home in Regina. So I started running track at grade 4 in Ethel Milliken School, and I think we only trained for 3 weeks. And then we had the big meet with the schools, and so I won the 100, 200, and 400 races and received 3 red ribbons, which was totally awesome, and I was really happy. And then to my horror, I got a white ribbon, which was 3rd place on our mixed relay team, and we finished 3rd, and I was the anchor. And so I was devastated, and I cried and went off into the middle of the field. And my dad was like, why are you crying? I'm like, well, it's so embarrassing I lost. He's like, but you ran against 2 boys. He's like, I don't care. I'm supposed to win. So that was my launch into track and field, is like, I want to win, and that's all that mattered. I don't care who was running with me. If it was a dog, I wanted to win. So that's just how competitive I was. So that's kind of how it started for me. And I've loved track ever since, and I'm so grateful for the opportunities. I did play other sports in elementary school, but I was really good at track, and I loved track, the track club I was with Mike Zimmerman. I loved my teammates and even the workouts at times. As I continued on in high school, I ran a time that opened up a few doors for me, so I could go to Utah State University and get a full ride track scholarship, so that was just a great honor. I was not even expecting that at all. My time in college was really great. I loved being a student athlete. It was so much fun, just the teammates and all the people that I was able to be around. From the time my high school days all the way to being a professional athlete, I had many opportunities to travel the world, which I'm very grateful for. Experienced different cultures, and at times some interesting food, but it was still good. And I met some wonderful people, and I'm still friends with those people today. Again, I love track, and I'm thankful for the time competing at Worlds and the Olympics and World University Games. But there are 2 things that stuck out to me when he was asking a question. And when I was inducted at the Utah State Hall of Fame, they asked me what was the most meaningful moment in my track career. And it wasn't anything I had done. It wasn't the medals. It wasn't the awards. It was seeing my dear friend Shelley, who started off in the 400, running, I think, about a minute 10 400-meter race. And then at the Big West Championship, she got 2nd, and she ended up running 54, and that was her 3rd year in university. And I was just so happy for her. I was just so joyful that she finally did that and accomplished that for herself. And so that was just such a highlight for me to see one of my dearest friends finally achieve the goal that she wanted to. And the second one is recently that I didn't really know about until someone, she had actually sent me a message on Facebook, and this was from Kimberly, and we were at a meet together in Eugene, Oregon, and she said it's the mecca of track and field. If you've ever been there, you know what it's like. And she was not supposed to make it out of the heats in her race. I think we were running the 200 meters. She ended up making it to the final, and I guess if you're in the final, if you don't know how to use blocks, then they won't let you run. So she didn't know that at the time. So she said I was in lane 3, and she was in lane 5, and so she was about to walk off the track, because they were like, you cannot run if you don't have blocks. And so I don't really remember this, but she said I went up to her and I told her, we Canadian girls have to stick together. So I helped her, give her a crash course in how to set up her blocks for the 200, and she ended up getting second, and I won. And it was just so neat because I wasn't expecting anything like that, and she sent that to me about 3 years ago, and it was just a great reminder that track and sport is a relationship, and the people that you meet, you just never know how you're gonna have an impact on their life. And 3 years later, she was at the same meet, and another girl had the same situation, and she helped her in the same way. So I'm just very grateful for sport. I think it's been said many different ways, but I think the biggest thing is the relationships you have with those people. That's what is the biggest impact in my life. The people that I've been able to meet, the coaches that I've been able to have, the people that are even here today just to support me. It's just a wonderful thing that sometimes you cannot put words to. So I love the medals, and I will enjoy this award dearly, but I'm thankful that I can share this with friends and family. And now I get the honor to coach track and field, high school athletes, and just impart my wisdom on them, and I love it so much, just being able to encourage them to do their very best. And so this is such an honor, and I'm humbled that you would even think of me. And again, like I said, it's so good to be back home. So thank you very much.
Wonderful stuff, and congratulations again. Our final inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Bernadette McIntyre, a builder in the sport of curling. Bernadette McIntyre has been a linchpin of the local curling community for more than 30 years. It is not an exaggeration at all to suggest that if you've attended any elite level curling event held in Regina at any point over the last 25 years, Bernadette's fingerprints are all over it. She came to Regina in the early 90s and joined the Highland Curling Club, immediately joining their board of directors for what would begin to be a 26-year run. She would join the Curl Regina board the following year, and it's a position that she still holds to this day. In 1991, she was the chairperson for the Southern Women's Provincial Championships, the first of what seems to be a million curling events that she's been a key contributor to over the years. In 1995, she was the chairperson for the Provincial Scotties Tournament of Hearts, and was the Curl Regina Bid Committee chairperson and host committee president for the 1998 National Scott Tournament of Hearts. Now that year, the Sandra Schmerlerwink was returning home after winning a gold medal in Nagano, and their homecoming helped make the event an outrageous success. The 1998 Scotties here in Regina marked the first and only time that the National Women's Curling Championship outdrew the men's Brier. Absolutely. Bernadette would again serve as the Curl Regina Bid Committee Chair for the 2008 Scott Tournament of Hearts, and was president of the host committee responsible for the 2006 Tim Hortons Brier. She had the same role for the 2001 Canadian Olympic Curling Trials here in Regina, and her hosting experience continued with the 2011 Ford Men's World Curling Championships, where she served once again as the Curl Regina Bid Committee Chair. In addition to the marquee arena events, Bernadette has also played a key role in Regina's successful hosting of the 2014 Canadian University Curling Championships, as well as the 2016 Canadian Wheelchair Curling Championships. And while she may be known most for the hosting committee work, Bernadette is also a curling official of significant ilk. She is a certified Level 3 official and was the head umpire at the 2016 Under-18 Provincial Curling Championships and at the 2019 Scotties Tournament of Hearts. And if that's still not enough to satisfy you people, McIntyre's board work is just as impressive as the rest of her resume. In addition to her time on the board at the Highland Curling Club and Curl Regina, in 1999 she became the Saskatchewan Curling Association's first female president, and from 2007 through 2011 was a member of the Curl Canada Board of Directors. As part of the nomination package, Curl Saskatchewan Executive Director Kellen Geiger said, "If you know curling, you know Bernadette. She's a founder, a promoter, an influencer of all things to the sport. She is the face of events in Regina and of curling in the province. Her enthusiasm, her passion, and her love of the sport is contagious to all around her." Not surprisingly, Bernadette's contributions have been recognized by several organizations. For her years of dedication to the sport, she received the prestigious Curling Canada Joan Mead Builder Award in 2015. She's a past recipient of the City of Regina's Mayor's Volunteer of the Year in Sport and Recreation, and was recognized in 2019 as the Canadian Sport Tourism Volunteer of the Year. Most recently, Bernadette was inducted into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame last year, and we are absolutely delighted to have her join the ranks of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame honorees here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Bernadette McIntyre.
Well, good evening, inductees, distinguished guests, volunteers, family, friends, and the Regina Sports Hall of Fame Board of Directors. It's an amazing experience to be a member of the class of 2024. It's extra special when those who know you best in your hometown consider you worthy. Congratulations to LaDawn, Daryl, Jessica, Dirk, and Aaron. And yeah, Aaron brought us cards. How cool. It is a great honor to be inducted with each of you. Your hard work and achievements have earned you this prestigious award. I am humbled by all that you have accomplished. I was the one that got the participation ribbons, just so you know. A special thank you to Dick White, who took the time to nominate me. Dick has spent his career and volunteer time supporting and promoting sport and supporting all those involved. And Dick is an inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Now, just a comment. Never underestimate the power of the media. After the induction announcement a few weeks ago, I felt like a celebrity. People would say, "Hey, congratulations on your induction." And wow, you're friends with Daryl Davis. How cool. Thanks, Daryl, for all the shout-outs for the whole class. When accepting an award such as this, there are so many thank yous, as you've heard, and so many people who are part of the successes. To my family, my husband for filling all the gaps that I left when I was at unending committee meetings and events. To our children, Lisa and Sean, for playing at the rink, sitting under the table at meetings and more meetings and more meetings, for maybe illegally selling 50-50 tickets. Lisa, when she was underage, because we had to put her to work, she couldn't just be there. Your support is priceless and appreciated. And to my extended family, my brother and sister-in-law here, my nephew, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, everybody volunteers. And of course, we have a whole group of friends that entertained Rich when I was away at a curling event. So it was all good. None of us stand alone, and I must take a moment and thank all of the wonderful volunteers across many sporting events. Curling, golf, Grey Cups, marathons, exhibitions, farm shows, winter festivals, it goes on and on. These volunteers that I've had the privilege to work with are amazing, skillful, reliable, fun, and I've learned so much from each one of you. It's always a team effort, and I treasure each and every one of you. A special shout out to my curling team, Carol Michael, Laurel Anderson, Karen Fowler, Anita Ford, Val Bailey, just to name a few, who I've roped into doing so many things that they didn't really want to do. It's that voluntold thing, and you buy them a beer and they're good. I'm sure they regretted it at times, though. To Karen Pasterfield, my partner in curling and golf events, and to Heidi Pearson, my Grey Cup co-chair, you two are absolutely amazing people and a joy to work with always. Many long telephone conversations and heart-to-hearts, but we had a wonderful time. Chris, our really great MC here, advised us to add a story or two. Well, that would take me a long time. I tell very long stories. So I thought we should focus on moments and memories, which is really what it's all about. So when I have spoken to other groups, I often mention and I've reflected on this, I often mention my 3 top sporting experiences because of being all involved. And what they are I was there, as Karen and I were there, and it always chokes me up a bit. I was there at the packed Agrodome for the opening of the 1998 Scott Tournament of Hearts when the Schmerler team entered as Team Canada, returning with their gold medals. Something that chokes me up to this day. And we were so glad the fire marshal was a curling fan. Being at Mosaic Stadium in 2013 when the Riders won the Grey Cup, being on the leadership team for that Grey Cup year of the Grey Cup committee made it just extra special. And then, funny for somebody who's not really a golfer, it was a thrill to be on the 18th green in 2018 when Brooke Henderson won the CP Women's LPGA event right here in Regina. However, upon reflection, the best experiences are the hundreds of smaller moments and memories that stay in your heart forever. Some are happy moments, and others not so much. And a few of mine that I just want to mention are being presented a 2013 Grey Cup ring by Jim Hobson, because we were part of the Grey Cup committee. Cruising around Wascana Golf Course in a golf cart with Karen Pasterfield driving during the 2018 LPGA event that we co-chaired, and finding out she would not let me go alone because I was too noisy for golf. Couldn't laugh at a lot of stops. Dealing with a major blizzard midweek during the 2018 Brier, foot or more of snow, TSN, all the teams, and most of the volunteers made it to the rink on time, and the Real District staff had the parking lots cleared. It was amazing. Answering phones at the Sandra Schmerler Foundation telethon at the Scotties. Oh, finding out that a reefer truck of beer froze overnight, and we were hours away from running out of beer at the patch. Emergency semi coming in from Edmonton. Major disaster for a curling event. Plus, I worked at SGI and it insured the event. How do you tell the president that he just bought a semi full of beer that he couldn't share? At the 2006 Brier scene, volunteers and sponsors embraced the Party Gras theme, making Bourbon Street come to life. We even had a daily mariachi band parade, and yes, there was the throwing of the beads every night in the patch. Handing out gold, silver, and bronze medals at the Canadian Canoe and Kayak Championships, volunteering at the Queen City Marathon in the information booth where 90% of the questions were, where are the bathrooms? And then handing out medals at the finish line. Being in the 50-50 room at the 2024 Brier when the father of the Quebec skip came to collect over $70,000 in cash. He was over the moon. Curling with and against good friends on Monday and Wednesday evenings at the Highland, and then enjoying a Dubonnet, which my team hates. Leaving Sean, when he was only weeks old, in a baby bucket in the Players' Lounge at the SGI Canada Charity Classic in the basement of the Brandt Centre with the male curlers who were drinking, and then coming back to find that the ice makers had taken him in his bucket to throw him down the ice just to check to see how it curled. It's okay, he's not here, Sean's not here tonight, but he's 6'3" and fine. And I won't even talk about Iceman's Punch because that would take way too long. Carrying out the garbage with Karen Pasterfield at midnight on the last day of the Brier. Cleaning up in the volunteer lounge with Heidi at the end of the 2022 Grey Cup Festival. Receiving a call that Carol Michael, in charge of ceremonies at one of the events, had lost a piper in the lower level of the Brandt Centre. A piper was warming up and she lost him. But I did find out from working ceremonies with that group that as soon as the ceremonies were over, the morning ceremonies were over, out came the Baileys. After 11 days of that, we went back to work and we were going through withdrawal by 9 o'clock every morning at work. And then at another event, receiving an emergency call from Marcy Guderites, you know, an Olympic gold medalist, that there was an emergency that had to be attended to immediately in the Players' Lounge in the Brandt Center. Well, I just went running. And I got there and found out that the emergency was the Schmerler team had run out of drink tickets. Plus, there are many, many stories about Rod Schmidt that we'll tell you later. So there were many smiling faces, tears, and wonderful memories. Sport, though, is more than a game. Sport provides the structure and opportunity for hopes and dreams to be realized. Sports provides many lessons: courage balanced with calm control, drive and aggression balanced with respect. Achievements give you confidence, and losses help keep you humble. There are so many different forms of sport and so many opportunities to find your own place. Sport closes the gap between different people and brings them together. It provides the opportunities for masters of the game, elders of the sport, to pass on their wisdom. It's a powerful comments and words of encouragement for so many that ring through time and push you to your limit, whether you're competing, coaching, organizing, reporting, or part of the support team. These experiences are great pillars of life. Thank you to the Board of Directors and volunteers of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, who have worked so hard to host this event and encourage a legacy of sporting history for this great city of ours. We want to acknowledge their efforts, as it takes tremendous time and patience to organize this, create the PowerPoints, write the introductions, and host a fantastic induction event. In closing, an audience's favorite phrase, wouldn't you say? We say this to all current, future athletes and builders. Sport will test you physically, mentally, and emotionally. The numerous life experiences it provides and the wonderful people you meet will shape your life in such a way that it will grow your mind and fill your heart. Thank you for the memories.
And with that, the 2024 Regina Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony comes to a close. We would ask our inductees to linger for a few moments in case there are any additional photo opportunities. We also, again, encourage you to visit our new website. Again, a wonderful job by the folks at Omni Online to develop and maintain that site, reginasportshalloffame.com. A reminder that you can learn more about all of our honorees, both the past and the present, at the Regina Hall of Fame's permanent display at the Cooperative Center. We look forward to our next opportunity to meet and welcome the 2025 induction class into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame next Thanksgiving weekend. Thank you very much, and have yourselves a wonderful evening.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today